Hey y'all, what's up? It's Meezy coming at you, not live. I should just stick to hey y'all. But anyways, today's video, I'm going to be telling y'all 7 things that I wish I would have considered before I took my first job offer. So go ahead and hit the like, hit subscribe if you haven't already, hit notifications so that you always know when I post a video, and let's just jump in. Alright, so the first thing is, do not take the first offer. It's very easy to get super excited and, you know, just be like, yes, I finally accomplished something. You can take that job, you'll be done with your job search, you're good to go, and all you gotta do is graduate, or, you know, just wait to get your relocation or whatever the situation may be. And I say this because that is what I did for my first job. I was super excited. I got my first offer in October and I took it and I just stopped looking for jobs. I didn't graduate until May. So I probably could have got a lot more opportunity if I would have just kept looking after getting that offer. But I was super excited and I was super tired of looking for a job. So I was just like, I'm taking this one, thank you. And it just wasn't the wisest choice. It was the easiest choice though. So do not take that first offer. Alright, number 2 is for those people who won't listen to number 1. So make sure you get multiple offers. This will help you have a lot more leverage when you are in negotiations for your salary. A lot of people, if you don't have another offer, then they don't really care to negotiate with you, because where are you gonna go? Like, you can do like your initial round, right? And you can be like, I want $20,000 more than what you said, but they'll be like, okay, and because if you have another offer, you can be like, well, this other company is offering me, you know, $25,000 more, but I really want to work for y'all, so I'll just take an extra 20, you know, or match the offer. Always get the offer matched if you really want to go to the other company. But yeah, so get multiple offers. Also, you have to consider more than just the salary, right? You have to consider like benefits and all of that. So having multiple offers will just give you a lot of options, and you won't be stuck at one place. So my goal for my last job search was 4 offers. So I would say try to get 3 at least, but job searching is hard, and if you get to the end of it and you only get 1, fine, no big deal. But if you are like still in the midst of your job search, just wait for those other offers to roll in. And when you are interviewing, the recruiter should ask you, like, are you interviewing right now? What's your timeline looking like? Basically, they're trying to find out how fast they need to get you through the process, and like how long you might need to consider an offer if they were to make you one. And you can always ask for an extension on your offer, like to decide if you want to take it or not. If somebody is, and most people will just give you that extension, no problem. As long as it's not like crunch time, like a few weeks before the job starts or something. If somebody is like, no, you need to make a decision in the next 2 weeks or we're taking the offer back, don't even sweat it. Just continue doing your interviews. Once that 2 weeks comes, they'll be like, are you gonna take the job or not? And you can be like, yeah, actually I'm gonna take it. Or you can just be like, I'm still looking, I don't even want this job that bad, I'm dropping it. Because honestly, if somebody is like pressuring you really hardcore to take their job offer, then that's kind of a bad omen already. There are some circumstances, like I said, where they might need you to actually make a decision. I haven't ran into any in my time, and I've never heard of that. But if they can't explain to you why you need to make a decision so fast and you still have other interviews and stuff lined up, don't sweat it. Okay, so the third thing is to consider the cost of living. So when I was graduating, I really wanted to move to New York, and then I got my job offer in DC, and I was like, oh, you know, that's pretty cool, it'll still be cool. But I didn't think that DC would be as expensive as New York, and I was very wrong. It's not as expensive, but it is super expensive, especially compared to Texas. So if I would have looked up the cost of living, if I would have used the cost of living calculator, which they are everywhere, just search up cost of living calculator, and I would have seen how much money my offer was really worth in DC, and I would just been like, oh, you know what, I think I'm good. Because right, I'm looking at my offer with Texas eyes, and Texas has like one of the cheapest costs of living in the US. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna be a baller, shot caller. And then I got to DC and I was like, this is not correct. That's not how it's supposed to be. What happened to the original plot of a movie? So make sure you look up that cost of living, and if you use a calculator, I would say use multiple, because I got some pretty wild results the last time that I used them, like some pretty varied results. Let me close these windows. I got some pretty varied results, so I would just like get it from 3 websites and average the amount, and then I knew how much I would ask for a job in that city. And then you can also, if you feel like the cost of living calculators still aren't giving you an accurate estimate, a good thing to do would be to look up rent prices in the area that you want to live in when you move to get that job, and then base how much money you want to ask for off of how much money it would cost for you to pay rent, and then, you know, also live life outside of paying bills. Number 4, if you don't take anything else from this video, please listen to number 4, okay? You need to make a list of what you want out of a job: salary, benefits, culture, office life, travel, all that kind of stuff, and do not settle on this list. Like, make this list, stick to it. You might apply to 65 jobs and you might get a couple offers and they are not exactly what you want. Job 66 might make you the offer that is exactly what you are looking for, or at least the closest. So do not settle on what you want, especially when it comes to salary, because while money is not the only cause of problems, money, I mean, right, it gets rid of the problems of not having the bare necessities of life. So make sure that you get enough money, number 1, but also make sure that it's the company that you want to work for. And so I know a lot of people who are in college have this idea of a dream job, which is a totally different video that I'm gonna post very soon. But in short, get rid of the idea of a dream job. You only see what these companies want you to see from the outside. If you can, try to get in contact with people that already work there. I recommend at least waiting until you have an offer. You can ask before as well, just in case you're on the fence about interviewing, but if you have an offer, at least you know, like, you have the chance to work there, and the person can even give you some more insight about negotiating and stuff. But ask people that work there what it's like to work there. I mean, there are so many websites that you can look at to see what people's experiences were like Glassdoor. I think you can leave reviews of companies on Glassdoor is the only one I can think of. But yes, at the end of the day, these are corporations, and they are going to put the best part of themselves on display so that people do want to work for them. And you have this idea like, oh man, if I worked at that place, my life would be great. Oh, I was gonna say, a lot of places you will see, especially in the Bay Area, they give you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have gyms, they have game rooms, they have, you know, showers. They just have all this stuff that's like, man, that office is amazing. You don't have to worry about anything if you work there. And that is so true. But please consider why a company will serve you breakfast, lunch, and dinner at no cost to you. Why do you think they do that? Because they know that their workers are there during those times. Their workers are there at breakfast, lunch, and dinner time. They are working. So definitely consider how much you will be working at the new place that you are at. Because I'm very big on 40 hours and I'm out. Or, you know, if you're paying me for 50, I'll work 50. But if you're not paying me for that, I'm good. I'll see you on Monday. Let's get this done another time. So yes, make sure you consider everything when you are making this list, and ask questions throughout the entire process. Ask the questions to everybody you encounter, just to make sure that you are working at a place that is for you, and do not settle for less than what you want. All right, the next thing is you will have to submit a lot of applications to get interviews, and then you have to go through a lot of interviews to get an offer, so don't expect it to happen fast. You might submit 100 applications. You might only get 50 responses from those 100 applications you submitted. You might only get 10 let's do an interview with you, and you might only get 3 offers from those 10 interviews that you do, and that can all take the span of like 6 months. It's really not a fast process, and some companies have very slow interview processes, and some people will, you know, rapid fire with you, and it all just depends. So just make sure that you know that this is like a very long process. It's a very draining process. It is honestly one of the worst things I've ever had to do in my life. I've done it twice. I do not want to do it again. So it takes a long time, and it's normal for it to take a long time. It's normal to submit a whole bunch of applications and only hear back from a few people. So just be patient and do not settle, because it takes a long time. All right, next thing is do not count yourself out. So I will give y'all this anecdote. When I was in college, I went to a job fair, and I was talking to the recruiter at this booth, and you know, we got along really well, and we found out that we both used to be RAs in the same building at the college, at my college at Texas Tech. And so he was like, oh, okay, so yeah, your resume looks great, blah, 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 so I think you'll be good for this position. Here you go. You can go to the interview booth at whatever time it was. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went to the interview booth, and I sat down, you know, started the interview, and they did a brain teaser question, which I think is so dumb, and you can see my thoughts on it in this video. I had to see if my camera was about to die. You can see my thoughts on it in that video. But in short, they did this brain teaser question. I was just like, I have no idea what the answer to this is. And I was like, I must be an idiot. Like, I'm dumb. Like, he only gave me this interview because we worked at the same place. And so the interview was really nice. He was like, it's really not a big deal. Like, you know, it's just kind of like a formality. And then we went on to behavioral questions, and then he like gave me a slip of paper. He's like, okay, so that was great. So just go and submit your application here. And then we'll move along in the process, whatever. So when I walked out of there, I was just like, I think he was just being nice, and I think I did terrible, so I'm not gonna apply to this job because I'm not gonna get it anyway. And I really should have just applied for the job, because I should have just let them tell me no instead of telling myself no. So I stopped my own bag by not applying for that job. Who knows where I'd be right now if I would have just applied for that job back then. But that's not the point. The point is to just let other people tell you no. So apply for stuff that you don't think you qualify for. Apply for stuff that you know that you are not qualified for. Because sometimes you can submit an application for something like, let's say you want to work at like a smaller company and they don't have a lot of job openings. And you submit your resume anyway because you're like, man, I don't really have the levels of like this senior skill thing that they want, but I know I'm really good at what I do. They might see your resume and be like, hey, we know you applied for this position and we don't think you're a good fit for this, but you might be a good fit for that. So you never know what will happen, but just try things. The worst that can happen is they tell you no. Okay, this has been a long video. So the last thing that I wish I knew before I did my initial job search is that you can rescind your acceptance of an offer. So as long as you didn't sign any paperwork saying that like you have to go work for them once you sign the offer, or you know you have to pay back some money, and if it's money you just better be prepared to give that money back from the offer, then you can just be like, hey, actually I decided, you know, I'm not gonna take this offer, my plans changed, blah blah. You really don't have to give them a full drawn out explanation. Again, most people are going to be working for large corporations and they have so many people on their list waiting to get in. They will probably be a little sad, but they will be fine. don't worry about it. Just politely say, hey, I'm not gonna take this offer anymore, my plans changed, and you'll be good to go. So like, let's say you got an offer at Google and you took it, and then you kept interviewing and you wanted to go, because you really wanted to go somewhere a little smaller. So let's say Gatsby.js, that's the first thing that came to my mind. And you get the job at Gatsby, and then you have to turn around and tell Google no, even though you already said yes. I mean, it's a little annoying to them, but like I said, they have a line of people waiting to apply. They have massive amounts of people that they hire every year, and employers know that everybody that says yes is not going to take that job. So as long as you read your offer and there's no like, you didn't sign your life away or something, you can tell them that you are no longer going to accept that offer and move on with your life and take the job that you want, so that you don't have to settle. Alright, so that is the video. That is it. That is all for now. I hope this was helpful. If you get a job after watching this video, or you feel like super pumped up after watching this video, let me know down below in the comments. Again, make sure you like it, subscribe, and that way other people can see my videos, because YouTube will know that they're really good. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.